What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. I recently discovered an amazing website that I wanted to share with you, shop.warpath.co.za. Warpath Direct is an amazing new online shop that specializes in fight gear. From gis to gloves, from title to scramble, amazing brands, amazing prices. Go and check it out. The best thing about Warpath is that they go the extra mile to ensure your delivery runs smoothly. You get a page to fill out all your measurement requirements, and that gets stored in their database. So every time you return, you click, you log in, you order what you want, you pay, they deliver. Simple as that. I've tried this out myself. The whole delivery process is smooth, hassle-free, trustworthy, reliable, and you won't regret it. No more having to send stuff to your friends overseas to bring it for you. You can get it direct yourself from your PC, from your phone, from your iPad, any way you like. Amazing products. Go and check it out. shop.warpath.co.za.
The BigAL Podcast with your host, Al Bishop, unfiltered and uncut.
What I'd like to do is just have like a quick glimpse back at 2017, like at your personal highlights. Obviously it was a massive year, like a lot of things, in my eyes, like a lot of things changed for the promotion itself. It seemed to like have a lot more international influence. The way you did the whole like build up shows, the filming of everything changed drastically, and it just seemed like you were escalating at a point. In 2017 was like just this massive leap. It just took off dramatically, you know.
That's awesome.
That's the way I see it. It was like, you know, you were kind of growing, and in 2017 it just exploded. I mean, obviously there was.
To be fair, I haven't looked back at 2017 yet.
Yeah, sure.
So this is the first time I'm actually thinking about
Sure.
it. And now that you say that, I think the production. When you mentioned that, the production was really amazing. I think we got Milton, who was a marketing manager, which is what Guy does now.
Sure.
He left us for a while, did his own thing, and he came back to EFC. And now he's such a fantastic director in that regard. Like, he's a real creative. So, and that's what you need. You need that new inspiration. And he did those long, sort of slow-mo, stoic sort of videos, which that was cool. So that was a nice addition. And reality TV show, TF1. I don't think we could have done it better. For guys who've never done a reality TV show before, I think it was phenomenal. I didn't watch the last couple of episodes, you know, watching yourself on TV is very weird. But I also think that the way it all took place, the heated moments between Ishad and Damart, everything was cool and it was real.
Yeah, sure.
That was the cool thing.
Yeah, it was quite a gift. In fact, like their rivalry just seemed the perfect way for you guys to kind of start that, because you didn't have to create an environment. They had already done it themselves, you know.
And then the doping allegations from Saids were hectic. I mean, and Damart defended himself to the hilt, and Ishad literally used that as his his weapons, and he just went after Damart with it, which was funny to see and see how it play out. And then at the end, it was so weird. When I was sitting in the press conference watching these guys, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm taking a break, and I'm taking a break, and I'm taking a break." And then when I started offering them fights again, they were like, "Oh, yeah, I'll fight." It's like, what are you talking about?
I think Urshad said something quite interesting in there, and it's, I mean, you've heard it globally before. Guys have said, you know, this whole build up towards fights is getting more and more intense. You know, there's more media obligations, which I don't know where.
Oh,
you know, there's not,
God.
You know, things like that. And there's guys
they treat it like it's a disease, but it's actually what pays their bills.
Yeah.
So it's what makes this entire thing worth watching. Who the hell doesn't want to? I want to promote the hell out of a fight. They want to promote the hell out of a fight. So many fighters give me no, it's just my job to fight. It is not your job to fight, because if you don't tell people you're fighting, no one wants to see you. And if we aren't able to tell people you're fighting, no one wants to see you. And that's what we get a lot of. It's like, oh, I did a lot of promotion. What did you do? I tweeted. Oh, well, good for you. So when it comes down to that, they know that that is a part of it. Guys at that level, Ishad and Demar, no, and they love. Don't tell me they don't love it. They loved it. I mean, that was something that they will experience once in their life and go, wow, it's a huge high. Being on a reality TV show, fighting on the the ultimate fight card of the year in December, the headliner. I had seriously influential people coming up to me, cage side, going, "Oh wow, like this is the best thing they've ever seen." So it worked, and it was rad, and it was amazing, and I'd like to keep that going consistently. I think it's a huge ask, but 2017, 2018 actually meld together. And then we go, geez, those were the best 2 years of EFC's history. And then, and then so we just keep going.
Does that influence the way you set out the first card for the year? Obviously, there's this gap, and we at that point now, like especially fans, and they're like, oh, how much longer do we have to wait? Which I think is actually quite a cool thing, because it starved you of the sport for a little bit, So everyone's like chomping at the bit. So obviously, coming off this massive high to the end of the year, does that put you under any pressure to kind of look at the first card of the year, and say, look, we have to come out guns blazing up front?
Yeah, personally it does. I look at it and I think, wow, we've really got to put a huge fight card together. But then I think I think the overall statement, and what I'd love to say to fans and everyone is, I would love every card to be like that.
Sure.
I want the cards to flow from awesome to awesome to awesome. Not, I don't want there to be a bad card. No one does. You want to, when it comes to your city, when it comes to Cape Town, you want to get excited. When it goes to Joburg, excited. Durban, excited. So I think we can achieve that. I think the headliner for this fight card is something. You won't get the promotional craziness, but you'll get the promotional high of it being a really valuable fight for the division, for those two guys, from the camps they were both at, from the heatedness, whatever's going on between the two guys, we won't see. We're going to try and bring it out of them, but they're both very reserved. But there's still issues. They've got history.
Sure. They're
both from that side of town. So Boyd and Igga's a great start to the fight, to the year. Yeah, I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, obviously there's being an entertainment sport. The minute everyone sees that fight, they kind of, associate the vibe between the two of them.
They were fight fitters and the whole story.
But I think there's so much more to it than that. I think stylistically and for MMA in the country, it is a huge fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's obviously the age-old striker versus grappler. I mean, we know what both of them are able to do with both disciplines.
It is. But I'm going to add to that. You know what it is? You've got a guy, a phenomenal boxer like Boyd, who actually learned or worked on a lot of his wrestling with Igga. And you've got Igga, who adopted that fight fit way of striking. Like you see it, just kind of like carbon copy from Boyd and the rest of the guys. And kind of like that's where it's really interesting, is who's got the upper hand. Yeah. I think they're both in very good places in their life for this to happen, because they're both hungry. Forget personal lives, forget anything. These guys are both hungry, and that's cool. I know personally they're hungry. They want to win because they know the prospect of them Igga maintaining his championship and Boyd becoming champion opens up a new world for them.
Sure.
And a lot of people will look at Igga's career and go, well, how many challenges did you really have? I mean, Pierre Buerta, for him, maybe wasn't, his finest fight. And has he really been challenged at the top of that totem pole by somebody super legitimate? And I think Boyd is that guy.
Yeah.
And then Boyd's sitting going, wow, like this guy's a freaking crazy wrestler. And I know his strengths, and they're fucking strong. Yeah. They're machined. So it's going to be a cool fight. And then we got the females on there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
So kicking ass.
Yeah, is there, again, we talk about the pressure from your side to kind of really get that title, like all the titles moving from beginning to end, so especially for the females. And I mean, if we're honest, it's quite a scarce department.
Yeah.
But I know people was like, oh, how can you come straight in and get a title shot? Which I agree and I disagree most of the time. I think it's great that you've gone abroad, found somebody that's a challenger and brought them in.
Yeah, and you know what happened off the back of that?
Yeah.
Nicole Desejny and her manager were going crazy at me personally. She just sent me a screenshot and said, seriously? And because she obviously knows Chiara from Italy.
Sure.
And is like, well, this chick didn't want to fight me in Italy. So now you're offering her a title shot. I get it. But, her record and her style speaks for herself.
Sure.
I'm really obsessed, like I was with the Van der Rohes, with guys who have and girls, shit hot records and have something to offer the promotion. They're youthful, exuberance, and they want to be a part of this sport and promotion that can grow them for the next 2-3 years. I don't want somebody at the tail end of their career. I don't want somebody, who's like, oh, well, I deserve this. There's no deserve in this sport. That's what makes it exciting. You know what? The reason that you're in is because you deserve it, because you're the most exciting person we can put in there.
Sure. I think you touched on Jared Van der Rohe. I think he was a classic case of people complaining, oh, you come and you get a straight shot.
And
I didn't hear complaints.
And then robbery.
Yeah, I didn't hear complaints after the fight. Everyone was quite mum. The naysayers were quite numb. Because, that dude is... he is extremely, extremely high caliber MMA quality.
No,
you know what I mean? He is insane. And I think guys forget to go 5 rounds with Andrew Van Zyl, to leave another country, fly all the way out here with... you can't even say half a team, with a team member to a new place, deal with all of the things we always hear about, altitude and all of these things, and go 5 rounds with a guy like Andrew Van Zyl. You cannot ask for more. So I hate it when people get involved like that, and I've been trying to avoid that to see, you're getting a straight title shot. I think it's great. I think it's... Who
won that fight?
Yeah, well...
You'll be the diplomat and say you don't know, but the reality is, if you score the fight, Van der Rohe should have won it.
Yeah, look, it's one of those hard things. I always say
it's
to
people... It's not a hard thing. It's super easy. It's like, that's something I've been called out, and I'll publicly call the judges out on, is... like, they need to get their heads out of their asses and judge better.
I also feel like, for me personally, it's when it's reasonably thin on a decision. Like, I think, honestly, if that wasn't for a title, Van der Rohe would have won it.
But
does that make sense?
Why? That's like saying, oh, well, you know what, we're going to give it to the guy who didn't win just because it's not that important. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like judges have got that.
And this whole thing of you have to beat the champ.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Did you not score every single round and go, I think Van der Rohe just edged Andrew out? And I'm not saying that Van der Rohe blew Andrew away, by no stretch of the imagination. Yes, if you've watched that fight, okay, and then afterwards somebody said, who won? You'd be like, sure, it's close. But if you scored round by round, which is what these guys are supposed to be doing, you'd have a very different opinion.
Sure.
So, I'm going to call it like it is, because I don't want to lie. I don't want people to think like I've got blinkers on when I see fights.
Sure.
I think that they made a huge mistake in that fight.
I think Andrew Van Zyl's expression and reaction tells you everything you need to know, because he's not the kind of guy to, just accept what is, and he wants to win in the best way possible, and he wants to win convincingly. He's not the guy to say, well, whatever, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I think his reaction told a big story. I mean, it's... And
think about it. What about guy, like, you look at the Russian promotions, like, what a bad name they have. Because you go over there, you fight, and they say that no matter, you have to literally break an arm in order to beat somebody. Sure. I don't want people to have that same taste in their mouth when they leave here.
No, sure.
The guy put in a full camp. He's a machine. They both had exactly the same time to train for this thing. It was well marketed. It was a great fight. Awesome matchup. I saw the potential, and I just think that he could have won that fight if he'd put his dug deeper and gone I'm Andrew van Zyl 1 gear, let me just blow through this guy. Because all that Van der Aar did was put in a good jab.
Sure.
He just had a good jab and a good left hook, and he was catching Andrew with it every single time.
Yeah, he kept it super simple.
And clinical, eh? Pop.
Yeah.
So now I'm forced to do I want to do Ruan Potts and Andrew and Van der Aar, both, rematch, and then see if we can get Andrew to fight one of those. But Andrew wants to fight internationally. He wants to go and try some fights overseas.
Okay. It looks like there's a lot of that happening at the moment. We'll touch on that now. I want to carry on looking at EFC 67 because I think, man, so far that card has got me really exciting. Just want to look at Cam Pritchard, Gunther Kalunda.
Cam's just told me that he's out, so I'd love to say that that's happening, but he's got knee issues or some issue. Gunther's still firing, so I need to get a replacement fight for that.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Sucks.
And, geez, man, because I think Gunther Kalunda is one of the most underrated guys in that division. He is
you couldn't have put it better. You couldn't have put it better. That guy, he literally, I didn't know if Oman was going to get up from that punch when he hit him
like
so
ever again.
Hard, ever, yeah. Like, the thing is, look, you can look at the weight thing. Oman's a lightweight. He should be lightweight.
Sure.
And Gunther's welterweight and a really thick, solid, strong machine. Welterweight.
He's a beast, man. And I think, like with a lot of those African guys, people always worry about their ground abilities. They come with like a strong judo background. But I mean, as that guy competes longer and longer and longer, he's going to get more and more and more dangerous. I mean, he's shown his power. I really like him. I honestly believe he's underrated. People they'll be looking at the bet exchange slips and be writing him off straight away.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't write that guy off against anybody at the moment. He's dangerous. He's very, 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 very dangerous. So, well, good luck finding a new...
No, we will. I mean, I think we're trying to peg him as a contender in that division. He just needs to fight the top guys, beat them, and then we can validate that,
Sure.
I want that for him.
Sure. And then there's the one that everybody seems to be talking about, as always, the new youngster, what's his name? Conor Hignett.
Yeah.
From the UK, the hand grenade and the BigAL.
He's a little machine. Yeah. He just won a fight of the night at some international promotion, and they've actually been trying to get him on our card for a long time, and I kind of said, well, when there's an opportunity. And it's funny because Boyd went to that fight card where he won fight of the night, and him and I were chatting about his fight, Boyd's upcoming fight, and he said, oh, you must look at this kid Conor. And I said, oh, well, I actually have seen him. Let's get on to him. And chatted to his manager. They were keen. And I think BK is the right guy. Sure. I'm starting to really like BK coming out of his shell.
Yeah.
Like, in his fights, he's out of his shell. Sure. I mean, there's no question there. But as far as personality, he's now starting to show more and more. And it's when he's challenged, like Magno challenged him. And I think this little ignorant boy's challenging him, and he's a loudmouth, and he talks the talk, and he walks the walk, which is rad.
Sure. Yeah, I think BK likes it a little bit more. He likes it to get a little bit personally.
Get fired up, BK.
Show, yeah, which is cool. Look, I think we all want to see BK fired up. I think it brings good results out of him as well at the same time, And he's an exciting fighter, so he's got to develop that part of his package, like you said about the promotion. And at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business,
Sure.
So, whatever these guys are doing, some guys get offended. They're like, oh, but he's posting this about me personally. I'm like, he understands the nature of the business, what I mean? And he's trying to get it going. So I think...
Listen,
a lot of these young guys
we're behind in Africa. We're behind so many years in so many things. We're not behind in MMA.
Sure.
Like, anybody who says, oh, we still got a couple of years, bullshit. Talent-wise, we're right up there. We're up there. Our guys can go toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world. And why shouldn't we have the same attitude to promoting fights? Why are guys so scared to pull the trigger? It's a new world. It's a new generation. Get out there. Put yourself in front of people. We've got the most phenomenal platform in sports entertainment in this country. And if you're not willing to go out and go, oh my God, this is what it is. Let me be a part of that. Let me put my... a label on there, let me hang my hat here, let me do this, let me invest here, then you're not going to be anywhere in the sport. You're going to just float by. And that is the advice I can tell anybody. And I've seen it 8 years I've been doing this and watching guys go, what can I do? I said, you're already putting in the hours in the gym.
Yeah.
You're already a great fighter. Promote yourself. You are worth it.
Sure.
There's this disbelief, I don't think I'm worth it. But fighting is such a self-absorbed sport anyway. Sure, you've got to be an egomaniac to do this crazy thing. Like, I'm going to be the best in the world. Sure, you want to be the best in the world. And, you look at UFC, that's the promotion you want to be a part of.
Sure.
So what is going to get you there? Finishing fights and being a personality. Not decisions and, I just want to fly under the radar. I'm serious.
Sure. No, it's true though. It is true. That's the way the sport's evolved.
It's gold. That is gold advice I'm giving people. That is gold. You're not gonna get any better advice. And you might say, oh well, it's so self-serving, Graeme, because it's just for EFC. It's like, yeah, of course. We want to grow you. So you become big, so that people take notice of you, so you can elevate yourself and go fight on the biggest stage in the world and kick ass and win there and be someone for them. Not, oh well, I'll wait till maybe. And you find these guys that are like diamonds from the start.
Sure.
And I believe that like BK from a showmanship perspective is a diamond from the start. And he's got something about it, he's got a character, something we can work with and develop, and his skills are like phenomenal. So there's guys out there that we have in the promotion.
No, definitely. Just on BK. If BK manages to get another win here, is he the number one contender?
Okay, so I'll tell you what happened there. So Mourinho and Zulu was put together long before BK. And Zulu had an injury, Base went to contender, relinquished. It was just like long. That flyweight division has been stagnant for so long, and I need to get it going. So the only way to do it is go, guys, we promised you this fight, let's get it out the way, let's get it going. Cool. So BK will fight, or even if Hignett wins, it's not guaranteed to win, BK.
Yeah.
BK and Hignett, winner fights, winner Zulu Mourinho couldn't done it.
Okay.
So that's the plan, and I know people want to see BK now, but it's not that we're not giving it to him, it's not happening right now. Sure. And he wants to stay active, he wants to stay relevant. Good for you, BK.
Yeah.
Earn some money, be the guy, rack up those wins, because that's all that matters. Getting in there, getting your face on TV, getting out there, being the showman, win those performance bonuses, kick ass, and then you get your title, and his title shot's there.
Yeah, it's knocking on the door. That's why I'm asking, because it's I know I'm also like chomping at the bit to see how BK will react under that title pressure.
And I think it'll be better, Alistair, it'll be better with having Zulu, who hasn't fought in so long, and Mourinho's kind of been also in limbo land for so long, fighting it out, getting the ring rust out.
Sure.
Title happens, winner fights a young, dynamic, like energetic guy who's never been on that level, but who's seeming to shine every single time.
Sure.
So it makes for a really interesting fight. Probably do that middle of the year, hopefully.
Okay.
Because we want to do Zulu and Mourinho for April.
Okay.
So July, August, September, we'll probably Sun City, maybe do a Sun City fight with those two guys.
Ooh. Sun City loves the title fight, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, I love Sun City. Come out there for a massive weekend.
One spot left on the 67 main card. Can you tell us anything?
No, man. Guy just hasn't announced it. So,
some of us
it was meant to be. So, who do you think it is?
Well, Warren Ellison is awaiting an international opponent.
Okay, we're supposed to have announced that. Sorry. So, Renier de Ridder.
Who seems legit as all.
Holy Moses, that thing is a machine. Okay, so even Drickus's manager is a Dutch guy,
sure.
Michael, and he WhatsApped me. So you got my countryman, he's awesome, a BJJ beast. So when we first signed him, I signed him so long ago, like almost a year ago. I couldn't get him on a card because what had happened was we then jammed that entire division up with the TF1 guys, and I was like, I only have so many internationals I can bring over. Else it just doesn't make sense. It loses its luster. So what are we doing? So I'd already signed him, and his manager had been pushing me for ages for a fight. So a lot of international promotions wanted to use him back and forth. And I just said, you know what? Let's pull the trigger. Let's get this kid out here. And let's look for somebody who's got some really good BJJ, skills. And I think Allison is shit hot. It's good.
Yeah, Warren Ellison's ground is ridiculously good, and he's a big lad. He's going to be carrying a lot of size with him as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's
got an arse like a police horse. Like he can freaking sit on you for days.
Yeah,
literally, that's like he's got a base. He's like a concrete cinder block. Once he gets on you, it's over.
Yeah, man, and he's on a high as well, and he's running high at the moment, so it's going to be interesting. Rainier de Ridder. Rainier, actually. He's a PJJ world champ. He's the real deal.
Legit. No, he's super. His legitness.
So that'll be the last slot.
That'll be the last slot. And then some cool undercard fights. Then I'm stitching together 68, which is in Cape Town.
Cape Town. That was the next question.
You want to talk about these guys that are going overseas, or is that not interesting?
Which guys?
This guy signed to international promotions.
Who signed? Chad signed with Brave. I saw Will Fleury as well. What is the story with Will Fleury?
Okay, so Will's still contracted to EFC. What had happened was we offered him a fight here against champion Dolce. And he was, for the same money he's getting at Brave. And he looked at it and he was like, Brave, easy fight against some Jordanian dude. and then I get a title fight in Dublin. This is what they've guaranteed him.
Okay.
Fight champion Dolce, crazy Congolese dude. And then maybe fight for a title against Drickus, because Drickus got a lineup. He's got so many oaks lining up to fight him. Till like we can keep him busy for 2 years. So in many ways, I saw the rationale in it, and he asked me, he said, "Look, what do you think?" I said, "Dude, I want you to fight for us. I want you to fight champion." And he was like, "This is a better offer for me to get a title shot in Dublin." I said, "I agree. Go and do that." And he said, "I want to come back and fight in September." And he's rad. He's cool for the show.
Yeah.
I like him. We've had our stories, me and him. But the thing is, we've always worked through it.
Sure.
To be honest, like he's a rational guy, but he's heated. He wants everything right now, and I understand that. So cool. My blessing to him. I hope he kicks that guy's ass and gets his title shot, and it comes back to me as a middleweight champ.
Yeah, geez, man, I think that'll be great, and I think there's quite a few guys from his gym as well that are competing at Brave, so I think that'll obviously also influence him to go there. Just on that, what is the status of the guys that fought in the fight? Because I've chatted to a few of them and they're all like, "Yo, we'll be back out there. We're there in April. We're there in March. We're there in June." And like, are they still, majority of them, contracted to the EFC, or is it kind of
every single guy that came on the show is exclusively contracted to EFC, but because we've got a very relaxed relationship with them, in so much as I say relaxed, but we want them to fight in their hometowns and keep their momentum going if I'm not able to offer them fights. So right now, a lot of them, because there are so many, and I don't have matchups in that division, flowing in, it's easy for me to just go, cool, go and do your thing. I know that Junaid Ebank's got a fight. I know Mike DeOrio's got a fight. Ibrahima will bring back here at welterweight this year. So a lot of them have fights. And it's so easy to be the a-hole on the other hand going, no, they mustn't take those fights. But to be honest with you, why would we ever want to stump somebody's ability to grow in their career? If they don't have a fight committed to, I'm open to chat to a lot of fighters about them fighting elsewhere. It just depends. If you're a title fight, what is. But we've often found, and this is where I laugh at it, is the options overseas are crap. Yeah. They're like, you are going over there as cannon fodder. Good luck. That's my honest opinion of it. Like, take all the fluff and fantasy out of it. The reality is, what are you going over there for? Is it because you earn more money there? No. Is it because your sponsors want to pay you to see internationally? Hell no. Like, where's their ROI? Are they like, oh, okay, cool. What TV station is on? No, it's not televised. Oh, how do I watch it? I think somebody will hold a cell phone on Facebook for me while I'm getting punched in the head. That's the extent. You know, so I want to further my career. Why don't you just do it here?
Sure.
And if they do make those choices, it's obviously because there's been a breakdown in communication between us and the fighter, and they've decided, look, this is right here, right now. I'm going to go for it. But I know that it's in almost every guy's heart to go overseas because it's something I've got to do.
Sure.
And if you're a fighter, I can see how that's a big opportunity because you want to go over there. Think about how cool it is to get to go and travel under the auspices of being a fighter. But it certainly isn't going to be to further your career.
Sure.
Because the big shows aren't looking at those shows because they're not televised and they don't have anything to offer. Really, like if you go, okay, well, I just recently fought on the show, televised, it wasn't televised, and you're pitching to go to the UFC, the matchmaker's like, okay, who did you fight? How did you win? And where can, like, what is this thing?
Where's the tape, bro?
Yeah, exactly. So, very,
Just in that circle of interest, a lot of the rumor mill running about JP Bays. Can you tell us anything?
He's signed back to EFC. Well, he's signing back to EFC. We've offered him a title fight against Philippe Rouge. We originally offered the fight to Sayed. Sayed was really he wants to take his break.
Sure.
He wants to take his break. Demonte relinquished his title for his reasons. I can't kind of go into that. There's a lot of pressure on the dude. He's got to sort his life out. A lot of things going on in his life. But I can guarantee you, he's got some things, awesome stuff in the wings. And it wasn't. He's always been sitting there, JP. He's always been sitting there as a top dude. I was kind of irritated at the whole thing of him relinquishing his title. I told him not to do it. That was my advice to him. Don't relinquish your bantamweight title because it just makes so much sense. But he was advised on that end, no, you have to, or you must. I was like, why? Why do we have to relinquish it? I think you must stay as the interim champion, and then it'll be easy for us to. And look what's happened. We're back at that door, knocking on it, and he's now a contender. Oh crap! He could have been interim champion.
Sure. But yeah, either way, I think he's good to have back. He's a young guy, and I think that played his age. Look, if he was 32 and trying to restart that's a
JP's starting to get his head on his shoulders, I think. Sure. I can see it. After speaking to him and Don recently, they're always together, they're always doing their thing together. I think JP's he's got a good career in this organisation, and Philippe Rouge is going to be a hectic guy to take on. I mean, how dare you boo me? How dare you?
What a legend!
I was clapping when he was shooting that because the fans are booing him, and I was like, "Why are you booing him? He just kicked ass. He's awesome."
He's a legend. I really dig that guy.
Yeah, he's
legit as well again, and I think his ground game is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And he's a nice addition.
A great fight for JP. I think style-wise, those two are going to be really...
That's a hell of a division, that bantamweight division. It's stacked.
And there's still guys. Cedric Doyle wants to make a return.
Yeah, I saw he was,
We got to... look, I want it, but I'm also dubious because you've got to be so careful, Head trauma is no joke. And we've got to really do our homework there before we allow him to do anything. Even the fact that we're talking about it is a big deal.
Sure.
So we'll see. And then Tumi Sang's coming back, which is rad.
Yeah, spoke to him.
Oh, I love Tumi. He's great.
Yeah, I'm excited to have him back.
Don't smoke that green, Tumi.
It seems like there's been a big movement of a lot of guys coming back from layoffs. Tumi obviously with suspension.
JP Kruger's coming back.
Yeah, JP's also recovering. I believe he's had a bit of a knee problem he's dealing with. Chris Bright wants to get back in the mix.
He's ready and rearing, man.
So there's a big movement of people coming back, which should be cool and interesting to see how that pans out. What I just wanted to ask you, sorry, we touched on it just now, was Drickers.
Yes.
The guy at the centre of the whole promotion, if you want.
The epicenter of the universe, Drickers du Plessis.
What do you do with Drickers now? Because it's two divisions. He's got a. We're gonna get the hashtag defend or vacate. Which way does it go? Because obviously the fight was set up.
He's actually Okay, I didn't even actually see fans going that way with him. I thought
No. It's just that it's going to come to that situation where there's two divisions realistically being held up. How do you handle that?
Okay, so Dricus is a fighter that's got it right. He's with two really awesome promotions. He's getting paid bombs. He's a superstar. He's rad. True. So he's just got it right, and I think where he's got it right, he's got a good relationship with us, and really solid. There's not a moment. If there's a decision in his career, he phones me directly and goes, "This is what we're doing," and then we can work with him on it. That's the key to this whole thing. So in many ways, for him, he is fighting in April, defending in KSW. Fingers crossed against Roberto Soldic. I hope that they do that fight. I want them to do that fight. Roberto signed with us originally, or was signing with us, and was put his manager, same Max Mertens trainer, was pushing for him to fight there. So he's going to fight in KSW, hopefully in April. If he wins, which he must win, Dricus, you got to win. He will be the 2-division, 2-promotion champion. It's confusing mentioning the weight classes, but he'll be a machine. And he comes back here in June to headline, hopefully, against Brendan Lazar.
Okay.
Now, there's also so many crazy fighters. We've got middleweight champion Dolce's coming in there. JP Kruger's coming in there. And some other names. Returns and machines and all sorts of stuff. Moving parts of this EFC organism is pretty rad. There's lots of cool things happening.
Sounds super exciting.
Yeah.
So, Dricus, first of all, KSW from there,
April.
and then
Middleweight title against Lazar, and then depending on where he lays, whether he's the title holder or not in certain divisions, we're building up a welterweight division, because that kind of is lacking in the contender space. I want Joe Cummins back. I want Dino Bagatine back in the mix. Gunter Kalunda must get back in the mix. Jose De Rocha, we can't forget that guy is just annihilating all my top prospects and saying, "Hey, I'm here. I know I'm Brazilian. You got to give me a shot. Just because I speak Portuguese doesn't mean I can't be a title holder."
No, sure.
And we love him, because I promise you that guy's proven to be such an awesome signing. Like, he's a finisher and a beast.
In my eyes, he has to be the number one contender in that division.
Yeah.
I think he's really proved it now. He's come out and stuck his hand up.
And Dricus is, I like Dricus because he never complains about matchups. Okay, cool. If I've got to fight him again, Graeme, let's do it. If it makes sense, let's do it. So I want to build that division up so that we can make, and if worst case scenario, if there is a case where by June he isn't able to, we'll have to do an interim title.
Okay.
Who that will be is really interesting, because there's so many guys in the mix. Yannick Bahati wants to get back in there.
See how Yannick's chomping at the bit.
Yeah, there's some, look at that division. It's a beast division. Yeah. Middleweight has always been we had the era of Gareth McClellan and Jeremy Smith and all those fighters that surrounded Donovan Hawkey's. Then it kind of ebbed down. Then it came back up with Dricus now, leading the way, and all these middleweight injections, and it's kind of entering a new era. A lot of guys returning, a lot of guys that we like to see fights. It's going to be rad.
Fantastic. The last two things I want to cover is if you can give us anything on Cape Town, that'd be great. And can we expect TF2 in this year?
Yes, TF2 is definitely 1,000 million % happening.
Okay.
It was such a cool experience for us. Our sponsors loved it, which is a great indication of a show when sponsors turn around and go, "Wow, we want season 2 now."
Sure.
You're like, "Wow, okay, well this thing's machine." When fans are like, "Okay, when is season 2? We want to see this thing." We haven't decided on the coaches. We haven't decided on the division. We just know we're doing it at the end of the year.
Okay.
It's around the same time.
Sure.
And then what was the second question?
Cape Town.
Cape Town lightweights are kind of stealing the show there. There's some great fights on there.
So last night, Dave Mazzani put out that he will be fighting in Cape Town, waiting for an opponent. That's what we're all waiting.
Okay, so everything hinges on Don Match. Basically, that whole division is held up by Don Match at this stage, and we all just want him to make movement on what he's doing, and then we can decide. And I'm hoping to get that answer today.
Okay.
And I think Madge and Hughes, mind blown. And if Madge can't take it, then I would love to see Hughes and Bright. And I would love to see Dave Mazzani and Chris Bright. I would love to see... There are so many. I would love to see Dave Mazzani and Martin van Staden. Yeah. There's so many great fights.
So that was the reaction that was happening that I woke up to this morning was Martin van Staden responding, saying he's there, he's willing, he's ready, he's able, and he's a massive contender. Again, it's another division that's, like you say, it's
so right. Look, once the Don thing is sorted, then the whole division will flow. You know, the champion, he's kind of earned the right to go, okay, guys, this is what I'm doing with my life. I just need to work it out, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, as a promotion, we've given him an ultimatum. We're very open with him. He's a great guy. We want the best for the kid. So ultimately, once that's cleared up, and I can, like I said, I've literally had a WhatsApp from him today. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it today, and then I've pitched fights to every single one of those guys on their own. Then Faiz Jacobs is taking on Cal Eleanor. Originally, Gary Joshua was fighting Cal Eleanor, but Joshua went down to fly. Yeah. So, and Joshua's been jumping from camp to camp to, and that's kind of been a frustrating thing for me, is when people move so much and it's literally incoherent. It's like, he agreed to a fight. Cool, but now I want to move divisions. Whoa. What's happening? So I've kind of let him do his thing now. And he's also going to be on the fight card, maybe against Martin de Beer.
Okay. Good fight.
Cool fight. The Diamonds always puts on a show. And then who else have we got on there? Come on now. Who's the Cape Townians? No, we don't have that. For Cape Town, for April, we've got Regis Muyombo and Rudy Roots.
Okay. Yeah.
At lightweight. Because Regis is too big and Rudy just wants to scrap. So I was like, all for that. Because if Rudy can build up, he'd be a great contender. But then it's also that this gym blocking is hard, eh? Like, you get lightweights that, like, the lightweight division is blocked up by a lot of the guys from the same gym.
Sure.
And the featherweights, you don't want it to be like that.
Sorry. I think Rudy Roots is a massive talent, man. I think he's going to be a very big contender in the future. I'm excited to see him. He's got a lot of talent, that kid.
Yeah,
he's got a good head as well. PFA boys in Cape Town.
Try to get Adam on. Injured, apparently, can't make it. There's another guy, I can't remember his name, a newbie from Mike Munami's gym that wants to come on board. Who else has he got there?
Dion's out.
Brunning's out for a little bit. Also, little injuries. I see put in a great fight against Hughes.
Who's Sage?
Wade Sage. I got to actually approach Mike on the subject, because I want to see if Sage can get on there. I mean, taking a one-day fight against CB was cool, and we owe it to him. I want to see him go again and give him a full camp.
He looked reasonably good, man. He looked like he had some skills. I think he was a little bit caught up in the moment, but he was legit. It was cool.
And then so the headliners, as far as we're concerned, for the rest of, like, almost the first quarter, you've got Boyd Allen, Igor Cabeza, featherweight title. You've got Kiara Penko and Daniela Lysol for the inaugural strawweight division. I think it's going to be a rad fight. Then you move on to the title fights in Cape Town. We're looking at doing a lightweight title fight there. Then you go on to Joburg. We're back in Joburg for April. There is the bantamweight title fight between Roosh and Base, and the flyweight title fight between Zulu and Kutundana. And then you move on to Durban, and we're going to do that bantamweight title fight between Zoak and Amandalino, which I think will be spectacular. And then you move on to Drickus and Lazar for the middleweight title, and some. I mean, it's like there's loads of rad things happening,
Yeah, man, that's super exciting.
Hey?
I'm this year has got me like giddy. so much happening, and I think it's all of the spark. Like I said, there's so many guys all of a sudden they're like, hang on, you know, sitting on the sidelines isn't working anymore. We've got to get back in the mix. You know what I mean? And I think that already is telling you like there's this mass of like an avalanche of excitement coming into 2018, which is super exciting.
Some
man.
rad fights.
It's really cool to sit and think about how you guys are thinking, like how are you going to plan this year, like what fights are going to make the most sense off the bat, what works, what doesn't, who goes where. And it's
also a mixture of what's happening in everyone's lives.
Sure.
You know, I mean, these are people, so they do extraordinary things, all human beings. You know, some guys are off doing that and this and all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
You know, so I understand, you know, the frustration from people when they look at fights and go, why didn't you do that? More than likely, 99% of the time I tried, but it just didn't work out for some reason. You know, we want the best fights that we can possibly do. And each one, as they come along, you're going to look at and go, wow, there's some sense in this. 100%. So the fight cards are supposed to be as consistently awesome as possible.
100%.
And then we end off at the end of the year in Pretoria again.
Yeah, which will be a TF
monster. And it'll be a monster. Already planning that.
Fantastic.
Right, cool. Thanks, Al.
Thank you so much.
Cool, dude.